you know, the longer you hold us off, the less fire we're going to have. Just letting you know. All right. Copy all. Copy all. Just letting you know. All right. I think, yeah, we're good right now, yeah. Yeah, it's getting close to I don't think that's an alley. I think that's a walkway. That's a walkway. And look, the roof is starting to heat up. All right, so we're live on Facebook, just letting you guys know. We're going to be live on Fox here in just a moment or two, so I'm a little kind of juggling right now. What you're looking at, huge fire out in there in the Hollywood area, 1200 block of Bronson. Basically what the LA City Fire is dealing with is an abandoned structure fully involved in fire when they first arrived here. You can see those large trees and a lot of foliage around there. All that foliage catching fire. And then other issues you have is all the homes in the area, the apartment buildings. Vinny was kind of showing what's off to the left of the screen right there. That's across the way. There's a little walkway right there. I understand. And some of that home there is starting to smolder. So that's just the heat from the fire starting to catch that apartment house on fire. This again happening in the Hollywood area. If you guys are local, turn on channel 11. We got Michaela doing some really great newsy stuff right now, but they're going to go live here in just a moment. We're going to be back on Facebook probably after that is done. But again, a huge fire out here in the Hollywood area. If you're in Hollywood, I can tell you can see the smoke. We saw the smoke all the way from the Santa Monica area after our desk gave us heads up that this was going on. Start with some big flames if you can, if they come to us. They might go to commercial. Well, right now you can see that actually this is actually a lot less fire, Michaela, that since we've been here. This is a home, an abandoned home out here on Bronson, 12,000 block of Bronson. You can see LA City Fire arriving here on scene, and what they're dealing with is when they arrived, that home was completely involved in fire, and all those trees in the area, well, they had a lot of foliage on them. A few moments ago, all of that was going up. Huge flames out here. The problem, or not the problem, but what LA City Fire is dealing with, the men and women of LA City Fire, is all these homes that are around the area. They've got apartments all around this area that is completely involved in fire. There's a little walkway that actually, the apartment building that you're seeing off to the left, that one was actually starting to smolder just moments ago. Now, LA City Fire, they know about all this. They understand the dynamics of what's going on out here. They went to master streams as soon as they arrived. That basically means they put up a ladder and they started dumping water on it as soon as they got here. Haven't heard about a second alarm or anything more than that, but a lot of fire, and the homes near this abandoned structure, that's what the big concern is right now. No evacuations, but I'm sure folks that are in these apartments exactly right next to these huge flames, I'm sure they're seeing what's going on, probably a little worried right now, maybe gathering up some of their belongings. But you know, you've got LA City Fire down there. They are some of the best in the world, and they're going to be protecting a lot of these structures. But you can see a very active firefight out here in the Hollywood area. And off of Bronson. Sure. Awesome. I love Brian Humphrey. Yeah, that's the Craftsman that they were talking about. Yep. All right, Facebook. I guess we're back with y'all, and you know, Vinny was pointing out that that's that Craftsman. Brian Humphrey from LA City Fire was just talking on the show. If you guys were watching, I mean, that's the way I do it. Is I'd stay on the Facebook, and then I'd also just get the show going as well. But what I can tell you is Brian Humphrey brought up the fact that that Craftsman house was one that they were having real exposure problems with, and you can actually see some scorching there and saw a little bit of fire taking off in the eaves, and that's what the LA City Fire folks, they don't want to see that, especially with that older Craftsman style home. That basically means a lot of wood, aged wood, very tinder dry, and of course not updated with the current codes and fire codes out here. So that is what they are really concerned about. While we were live, and even before we were live, Vinny was pointing out that the house that was just across the apartment building that's actually covered by smoke right now, that was the one that was actually, we saw some, they call it taking off, actually starting to get hot. And it is something that, you know, a lot of folks, you know, I found fascinating when I started doing news and, you know, as a stringer, is how just the heat from these fires across the way or nearby, just the heat can actually start heating up a structure next door. Things will start getting warm and then just catch fire. That's that is how these things spread so quickly. Right now, though, you can see LA City firefighters there on scene. It is a greater alarm, as Brian Humphrey mentioned to us earlier on. He was talking 75 firefighters, which, you know, it is that is quite a number of firefighters down there right now. This fire continues to burn out here. Most of what we're seeing burning, though, is actually the foliage, these large older trees. They are beautiful older trees, and I'm sure the people in the neighborhood loved having them around. But, you know, in this type of situation, an abandoned structure, huge pine trees in the area, you can see that one in the middle of the smoke there just completely defoliated. There's no green on that at all anymore, and I'm sure that was an actual tree moments ago. When this fire actually erupted, our assignment desk was the one that was basically, somebody's asking about my personal life. That's why I'm laughing. And again, I'm sorry if you guys are new to all this stuff. It is one of those ones where if you guys are listening, this is kind of behind the scenes, but official, not official. We are on Facebook. I'm reading a lot of the comments out here. But at any rate, what you can see coming back to us. We're coming back to us. Copy out. Probably just picture only. So, but anyways, keep an eye on this, and we are going to keep an eye on it as well. The LA City Fire Department really getting a handle on this. This thing was huge just moments ago. You can see how quickly they work, how quickly they act. All right, so they're not using us on the show. So at any rate, there's that Craftsman home that they were just talking about. Once again, that had a little bit of fire in the eaves right there, but you can see a number of those firefighters up there on the rooftop. The actual structure itself, we've been here in the past. I know we have been here in the past. This fire, that abandoned structure had a little bit of fire many times in the past. Don't know how it keeps reigniting. That's something else for somebody else down there, arson possibly, and possibly LAPD. But right now you can see a lot of smoke down there. That's really good. All those newer buildings next door, those also seem to be safe at this time. There's part of that structure that they were talking about. This was an older, very large wooden structure, single-family home. That's right here off of Bronson, just south of, is it south of Santa Monica or north of Santa Monica, Ange? North of Santa Monica by a couple of blocks. But the smoke, I mean, you can see it. If you're in the Hollywood area, wherever you're at, you'll be able to see this smoke. We actually saw it from the Santa Monica area. That's what I was going to give props to our assignment desk. You know, a lot of times when we're in doing something else, I'll turn the scanner down. I know. Don't turn the scanner down. But I actually had it down, and somebody gave us heads. Our desk, Lewis, actually said, hey, do you see any smoke out there? And not only did we see smoke, but we actually saw the fire from the Santa Monica area with the naked eye. Vinny was using that camera and really got out there super quick. Sandy, thank you for joining us. But at any rate, this fire was really starting to get a handle on it. SkyFOX, oddly enough, about every 2 hours. It's really weird how that happens. Somebody should look into it. About every 2 hours, we need to get fuel. So at any rate, we're probably going to have to pull off here in a moment or two. But all the excitement for this one, LA City Fire on it, took it down, and it is just almost not a knockdown by any means, but it is definitely getting close to that. I'm getting information that my mic is hot on Fox. If we are still hot on Fox, this is a fire in the Hollywood area. This is going to be off of Bronson Boulevard, very close to Santa Monica Boulevard. And you can see the firefighters from LA City Fire made their way out here protecting neighboring structures, and that was what the big concern was. This was an abandoned structure. They called it a two-story single-family home. Previous burn, meaning it had been on fire in the past, a wooden structure with a lot of trees around it. And when that fire started this morning, caught those trees on fire, the big concern for LA City firefighters was the fact that there were a lot of neighboring structures. We had an apartment building, we had that other similar type of building next door, but this one still habitat. They have people living there. LA City firefighters, getting on scene, assessing that situation very quickly, and then starting to set up protection for all those other structures. In the end, there's a little bit of damage to that one older wooden single-family home next door, but the apartment building's safe at this time. No evacuations at this time either. No injuries, and that's the big part right now. Of course, that abandoned structure that now completely is burned, they're going to have to go through that, make sure that they actually make entry and make sure that there was nobody inside. Right now, though, the fire does technically continue to burn. It was greater alarm pretty much as soon as they arrived here, meaning that they bumped up the number of units on scene, and over 75 firefighters from LA City Fire Department out here battling these flames. Again, this was which could have been a horrible fire out here in the Hollywood area. Right now, pretty much under control. Property next door, neighboring buildings, all safe. LA City firefighters saying that they've got a handle on. Okay, copy all. Yes, I can. Go ahead. All right, copy all. Getting a handle on it. Okie dokie. I'm all up. Well, Tony, it's not officially a knockdown, but great work by LA City firefighters. This is going to be Bronson, just north of Santa Monica Boulevard in the Hollywood area. What was a single-family home that was abandoned, in its inside or near a lot of trees out here. This caught fire and erupted in flames. When LA City firefighters got here, they bumped up their response very quickly. Their concern, all those homes around it. In the end, a little bit of damage to one home, no injuries, and you can see a lot of smoke, but not officially knocked down. But LA City Fire, they're going to have a handle on this very shortly. I'm Stu up in SkyFOX. Back to you guys in the studio. And back to my friends on Facebook. And Pete, if you're watching on the Facebook, thank you for the heads up. Sorry I didn't get the message until just a moment or two ago. And CMR, you know I am all about your chicken parmesan. I do like meatloaf, but you know what? I gotta say, Rhonda, I think you got me mixed up with somebody else. I haven't tasted your meatloaf, and I'm all about Ciamara's chicken parmesan. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. At any rate, what we're watching out here, this is going to be LA City Fire in the Hollywood area, and also we got to let you guys know if you're watching and just biting your nails about what's going on, and probably more worried about SkyFOX's fuel situation than the fire we're looking at. No injuries as it stands right now. Of course, LA City Fire, they're going to have to go through that structure and make sure there are no victims in there. I've been kind of distracted. They may have already done a primary search and a secondary search, but at any rate, just letting you guys know, we are going to have to go for fuel. This fire in Hollywood, pretty much under control. LA City Fire really getting out here and hammering it from the moment they arrive. Amazing work, and of course, keeping other structures safe and property. Right now, though, a lot of smoke still coming from that building. Where is it? It's Bronson, just north of Santa Monica, the Hollywood area, and I'm going to start talking with Vinny and Angela and find out where we are going for fuel. Where are we going for fuel? Can we make it back to Van Nuys? All right, let me find out if we're clear. Assignment desk. Hello. Hey, are we clear for fuel? Standing by. Thank you, Jason. We're going for fuel, We're still live on Facebook, Vinny, if you just want to kind of put the camera up forward, and we are clear for fuel. So as we're leaving the lot of white smoke that used to be black smoke and a lot of fire out here in the Hollywood area, we're probably going to keep the picture up as long as we can if you guys want to watch and just enjoy the aerials as it would be, and have Michaela and the show on in the background. That is awesome. You got LA City Fire helicopter down low, basically out here just spotting like we were, just looking around, seeing what's going on, making sure those embers aren't catching any other older homes on fire. Connecticut, huge shout out for Connecticut, that is for sure. And just kind of wandering off as it would be. If Vinny just spins the camera around, we're going to keep an eye on that smoke, but making our way through the Cahuenga Pass. If you haven't seen the Cahuenga Pass from the air, one of the first things that I learned when I started flying around in a helicopter back in the 90s is there's a reservoir up here. That's the Hollywood Reservoir. I honestly did not know there was a reservoir up here because you never really see it. If you can drive that freeway every day and never see that reservoir. Vinny's showing you the Hollywood sign up there, the equestrian trails, hiking trails, all really awesome. Then you also got the Tree of Knowledge. That's all the way at the end there. We've watched fires burn up and never burn that tree down. My running joke is that if I ever make my way up there, if it would be Vinny and I, we'd probably be breaking off branches and beating each other with it, chasing each other around with the Tree of Knowledge branches in our hands. You got the American flag, shows you there's a little bit of wind up there. They're doing a beautiful hero shot. That's what that's called. That's compression right there, where the mountain is standing still and everything around it is not spinning. That is the helicopter end of lands. Ashley, I would, you know what? If you could pull that off, I would rent from you in a heartbeat. I would say the helicopter without the crew is probably double that, and that's no fuel either. That's just the helicopter rental. But at any rate, most of the 600. No, Ashley, I don't know where you're getting these numbers from. I hope you're not doing any bidding on contracts because you're coming in a little low there. But at any rate, unless you're talking about, you know, maybe you're quoting a Robinson or something like that, maybe for a tour or something. Vinny, what do you think about $600 an hour for the A-Star? Never happened. Never happened. Not even close. At any rate. But you know what? This is the thing. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not schooling anybody. We're all acquaintances here, and there's no anger, no hate. I'm just letting you know that that is not true. And actually, fuel. for an A-Star. Yes, we burn quite a bit. There's no doubt about it, but it's about the price of diesel. It actually is cheaper than diesel in some cases, Jet A, because Jet A basically is a type of diesel, and it's quantity because we burn so much of it. We go through, probably when we land today, we're probably 40 gallons an hour is about right, and I can guarantee you that when we get on the ground, we're going to be right about 90, probably 95, 100 gallons is what we're going to take to top it off. So at any rate, and then, you know, like I said, it's around the price of diesel, so probably about $4.25, $4.50 a gallon. So at any rate, I can't believe we got rabbit-holed into talking about fuel prices and maintenance costs on an A-Star. At any rate, beautiful valley down there. We're passing through the North Hollywood area, getting into Van Nuys proper down there, flying over Grant. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is Valley College. We're over Valley College right there. A very young Stu enrolled in criminal science and never attended classes. You know, wants and desires and actual actions. At any rate, beautiful. We got nice fluffy white clouds. We are planning on for some rain probably later on, and we love the love and always enjoy any of the comments. It looks like my phone is having a little trouble keeping up with you guys, but at any rate, today we got Vinny on the camera, we got Angela at the tiller. We always have me rambling on and on and on, and we're making our way back to Van Nuys for fuel, and kind of not ending our shift, but ending our shift for the show usually, unless there's something going on. That was Vinny. Vinny made that beautiful shot of the flag and the Tree of Knowledge out there. What are those trails called? Over there by the Hollywood sign. Don't they have a name? It's Mount Lee, but isn't there a name of the trail? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank also. We've got clouds out here in Southern California today if you're not from the area. It is going to rain. There's no doubt about that. Probably later on tonight. Hopefully it is an actual rain and not just a little bit of a drizzle, but we'll take what we can get. A little bit of self-promotion out here, selfless self-promotion. Stu_Mundel. You can find me on all the big three. We've got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and that's Mundel, M-U-N-D-E-L. No, I'm not related to Mandel. I wish I was. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe, you know what? I'm happy with who I'm related to. At any rate, thank you for tuning in and texting and following along, and I probably will read some of these comments later on. The issue is, a lot of times when I go back and I'm an administrator for the Fox page, so I always have to figure out, it's a little difficult, but I like going back and liking a lot of the comments, and I enjoy reading some of the funny stuff that you guys write, and not so funny stuff sometimes also I'll make some comments on. But at any rate, thank you guys for watching. We're going to be landing here at Van Nuys Airport in just a little bit. Car chases are what we're all about. We don't have one right now. And it is a beautiful view. This job is a blessing, and every day we get to fly, look at stuff, and talk to people. Does it get any better than that? So, at any rate, thank you guys for watching and listening. And from Stu and the crew up here in SkyFOX, today it would be Angie and Vinny. We thank you for watching and flying.